Today we will discuss some of the important one-liners from the poetry Kubla Khan written by S.T. Coleridge. The very first question, who wrote Kubla Khan? Answer, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Next, when was it composed? Answer, 1797. Next, when was it published? Answer, 1816. Next, what is the subtitle of this poem? Answer, A Vision in a Dream, a Fragrant. এখান থেকে. Next, what is the form of the poem? Answer, lyrical and fragmentary form. Next, how many lines are there in this poem? Answer, 54 lines. 54 lines are there in Kubla Khan. Next, what meter is used? Answer, iambic tetrameter and pentameter. Mixing করে আছে. Next, what type of imagery dominates? Answer, romantic and supernatural elements are there. Next, what literary movement is it part of? Answer, it was written in romantic era. Next, who was contemporary poet friend of Coleridge? Answer, William Wordsworth, with whom he has written the lyrical ballads. Next, who is Kubla Khan? Kubla Khan is Mongol emperor. Kubla Khan is Mongol emperor. Next, where did Kubla Khan command a palace? Answer, Xanadu. Next, what kind of pleasure dome was built? Answer, a stately pleasure dome. And next, by which river was it built? It was built by the river Alf. It was built by the river Alf. Next, where did Alf flow? Answer, through caverns measureless to man. Next, where did Alf finally sink? Alf finally sink into a sunless sea. Next, how long were the walls of the pleasure ground? How long were the walls of the pleasure ground? Answer, 10 miles long. 10 miles long. Next, what surrounded the dome? Answer, garden with incense bearing trees. Surrounded the dome, garden with incense bearing trees. Next, what bloom in those gardens? Answer, bright flowers. Bright flowers bloomed in those gardens. Next, what was there amid the greenery? Answer, forest ancient as hills. Next, what was the center of the chasm? A deep romantic chasm was there. What was at the center of the chasm? A deep romantic chasm. Next, how is the chasm described? Answer, savage, holy, enchanted. Savage, holy and enchanted. These type of chasm are described. Next, what was the chasm slanting down? Answer, a green hill. Next, what does Coleridge compare the earth's force to? Answer, woman wailing for demon lover. Woman wailing for demon lover. Next, what burst from chasm? Answer, fountain. Next, what does the fountain throw off? Answer, huge fragments of earth. Huge fragments of earth. Next, how is the mountain described? Answer, mighty and ceaseless. Next, what mixes with the fountain? Answer, Alf river. Next, what sounds does the river create? Answer, tumult and noise. Next, what symbol of war appears? Answer, mighty fountain as upheaval. Mighty fountain as upheaval. Next, where does the river sink? Answer, into the caverns. Next, how are caverns described? Answer, measureless to man. Next, where do the caverns lead? Answer, sunless sea. Where do the caverns lead? Answer, sunless sea. Next, what is the contrast shown? Answer, bright dome versus dark cavern. Bright dome versus dark cavern. Next, what symbolizes mystery? Answer, sunless sea. Next, what symbolizes creativity? Answer, dome of pleasure. Next, what symbolizes destructive power? Answer, fountain eruption. Fountain eruption. Next, what unites creation and destruction? Answer, the river Alf. Next, what is the central natural imagery? Answer, interplay of opposite. Next, what kind of landscape is Xanadu? Answer, dream landscape. Next, what does Kubla Khan symbolize? Answer, human imagination. Human imagination. Next, what does the dome symbolize? Answer, artistic creation. Dome symbolizes artistic creation. Next, what does the chasm symbolize? Creative power and subconscious mind. Next, what does the fountain symbolize? Because it is a symbolical poem, so several symbols are there. What does the fountain symbolize? Answer, violent inspiration. Fountain symbolizes violent inspiration. Next, what does the sunless sea symbolizes? Mystery of unconsciousness. Next, what does the woman wailing symbolize? Answer, hidden passion, inspiration, etc. Next, what is the Alp river metaphor for? Alp river is the metaphor for stream of imagination. Next, what is Xanadu metaphor for? Xanadu is the metaphor for world of art and vision. World of art and vision. Next, what is Coleridge's vision in poem? Answer, a dream of creativity. A dream of creativity. Next, what is the poem's subtitle? Stressing. Answer, incompleteness. Dream fragment. Next, figure of speech থেকে, what is the figure in cavern measureless to man? What is the figure in cavern measureless to man? Answer, hyperbole. অতিরঞ্জিত করা হয়েছে. Next, what figure is sunless sea? It is alliteration plus imagery. Sunless sea. Next, what figure in poem? What figure of speech are there in woman wailing for her demon lover? It is a simile and personification. Sorry, simile, there is no as, there is no like, so it will not be a simile. Next, what device in a mighty fountain momentary was forced? Answer, imagery of eruption. নেক্সট যখন এসএমএস পাঠাচ্ছ এসএলএসটি 11-12 এর জন্য তৈরি করা এই নোটগুলো নেওয়ার জন্য যদি কেউ বিশেষভাবে আগ্রহী হও তাহলে কিন্তু তোমরা এই উপরে দেওয়া নম্বরটায় যোগাযোগ করতে পারো, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করতে পারো। যাদের প্রিপারেশন ভালো আছে তাদের এই নোট কেনার দরকার নাই, কিন্তু যাদের ভালো নয়, একদম প্রিপারেশন হয়নি, তারা কিন্তু যোগাযোগ করতে পারো। অল নোট ফি 279 টাকা, এটা অগ্রিম পেমেন্ট করতে হবে আর স্ক্রিনশট পাঠাতে হবে একই নম্বরে। তোমরা এটা চাইলে নিতে পারো। নেক্সট, হোয়াট ডিভাইস ইন এ মাইটি ফাউন্টেন মোমেন্টলি ওয়াজ ফোর্সড? অ্যান্সার, ইমেজারি অফ ইরাপশন। Next, what device in a miracle of rare device? Answer, oxymoron. A miracle yet rare, oxymoron. Next, what device is in stately pleasure dome decree? Answer, epithet. Dome is not stately pleasure. Next, what device dominates Alp's description? Answer, symbolism. Next, what device in dome in air? It is paradox. Next, what literary device dominates the poem? Answer, imagery and symbolism. Next, what rhyme scheme is used here? Irregular couplets ব্যবহার করা হয়েছে এখানে. Next, who did the poem once see in vision? Answer, an Abyssinian maid. Next, what did she play on? She played on dulcimer. Next, what did she sing of? Answer, Mount Abora. Next, what does the Abyssinian maid symbolize? Answer, muse of poetry. Next, what does Mount Abora symbolize? Answer, source of inspiration. Next, what does dulcimer symbolize? Answer, music of poetry. Next, what does the Coleridge stand for? Coleridge long for? Answer, to revive her song. Next, what happens if poet could revive the song? Answer, he would build dome in air. He would build dome in air. Next, what does dome in air symbolize? Perfect poetic creation. It is perfect poetic creation, dome in air. Next, what will people say of such a poet? What will people say of such a poet? Answer, he has drunk honeydew. He has drunk honeydew. Next, what else did he eat? Answer, milk of paradise. Next, what do honeydew and milk symbolize? Honeydew and milk symbolizes divine inspiration. Next, what image end the poem? Answer, poet as visionary, half-feared. Next, what does Coleridge compare the poet to? What does Coleridge compare the poet to? Answer, prophet with divine food. Prophet with divine food. Next, what is the tone of the last part? Answer, prophetic and mystical. Next, what is the central theme of Kubla Khan? Answer, power of imagination. dream. Next, what is the theme of art versus nature? Answer, dome versus fountain. Dome versus fountain. Next, what theme of opposites run throughout? Answer, creation versus destruction. Next, what theme of inspiration is shown? Answer, sudden and violent, and also mysterious theme are there. Next, what theme about poetry itself? What theme about poetry itself? Answer, poetry as divine vision. Poetry as divine vision. Next, what does the poem show about human creativity? Answer, fragmentary and unfinished. Next, what does Coleridge admit about the poem? Answer, it is incomplete. Next, what prevented completion of poem? Answer, a person from Porlock knocking. A person from Porlock knocking. Next, what is the significance of incompleteness? Answer, shows fragility of inspiration. Next, what is the romantic features here? Emphasis on reality, emphasis on dream and imagination rather than reality. Emphasis on dream and imagination, the romantic features. And at last we will solve some exam related short question. Who decreed the dome? Answer, Kubla Khan. What river flows through Xanadu? Alf. Next, where does the sun end? Sunless sea. Once again revise. What kind of garden surround the dome? Enchanted garden. And next, what is hidden under the hill? Answer, romantic chasm. Next, what burst from earth violently? Answer, fountain. Next, what is the visionary figure in the last part? Abyssinian Maid. Abyssinian Maid is the visionary figure in last part. Next, what does she play? She plays dulcimer. Next, what does she sing? Mount Abora. Next, what dream does the poet desire to recreate? He desired to recreate dome in air. Next, what would people fear about him? Possessed by divine power. Next, what would people admire? Answer, his visionary art. Next, what food symbolizes divine inspiration? Honeydew. Next, what drink symbolizes heavenly blessings? Answer, milk of paradise. Next, what is the poem called in subtitle? What is the poem called in subtitle? A fragment. It is a fragment of dream. It is not complete. There is subtle incompleteness in this poem. Next, what is the poem's dominant mood? Answer, it is dreamlike, mystical. Next, what is the chief literary quality? Answer, rich imagery. Next, what is the legacy of the poem? And the legacy of the poem is one of the romantic masterpieces ever created.